Welcome to DJ TV.
No be news again say federal government don increase the school fees for unity schools across Naija.
My correct people, we greet una. Welcome una to DJ TV on our WhatsApp channel wey dey sama una with ogbonge updates, breaking news, updated updates. So abeg my people, if you never subscribe to our YouTube channel, make una rush now, make una go subscribe o, and also turn on that notification bell so that anytime we be like say we drop any update like this, una go dey notified gbanga. Our Facebook page, my people, make una follow us and make una dey like. Una do well. Anyway, my people, make we quickly run enter the tori and update we will carry come for una like this.
Yes, so my people, this increase wey federal government do so for unity schools across Naija na something wey don make so many people don come out come react to this increment. So take us say the whole hardship and economic crisis for Naija, government still get the mind take dey increase school fees. Hey my people, no be small thing o. I no go talk too much I go leave una make una watch this video from Arise News. How dem take analyse dis whole matter, why federal government come increase school fees by this kind period, so wey be say everything take get as e be. People, make una watch.
Thank you for having
were
me.
the measures that have been introduced by this Tinubu administration, the fallout of which we have seen. One of the fallouts is this increase in school fees, both at the tertiary level and also at the secondary school level, with many parents saying, please Tinubu, let us breathe, let the poor breathe. Are these measures sustainable?
To answer your question directly, they are not sustainable. And the reason being that it seems that we are now in a season of increase. Everything is increasing. Fuel subsidy removed, fuel prices go up, you harmonize exchange rate, dollar, naira depreciates further, and you now remove increased school fees. Everything that you're buying in the market now is on the increase. Transport on the increase. We're even being told electricity will increase as well. So, and of course, you know, inflation has gone up and all that. So it seems that while these policy intentions have been announced, it seems that they are not properly well thought, properly coordinated, properly sequenced. I think it's important for government to sit back and clearly provide a well-detailed economic development agenda that will bring all these issues to the table so that we can see the interconnectedness, the way they are related, the consequences, the cost and benefits of all this with regards to the people, to the economy, so that we'll be able to say, okay, if you're increasing this, what will be the impact? There's something in accounting and economy that is called social accounting metrics. So social accounting metrics means that if you increase this, how will it affect other sectors of the economy? And there's also something that is called forward guidance, used mainly in monetary policy, in monetary economics, as the case may be. So you say, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, so that the private sector, the economy will now say, okay, this is what government is going to do, and they can now start reshaping. But it seems that what we are receiving on daily basis from the government is they remove fuel subsidy, things happen. They come and harmonize exchange rate, things happen. They come and increase this one thing. So there is really no full picture of where the government is going. And that's why I'm saying that it's very important that they sit back and say, this is our economic development agenda. That is detailed, that covers all this area: education, fuel subsidy, foreign exchange, manufacturing, agriculture, transport, all the sectors of the economy. So that we'll be sure at least where Nigeria is going.
But I thought that, President Tinubu, as a candidate of the APC, presidential candidate, had an economic blueprint. So where is the disconnect?
The disconnect is that, of course, you know, if you're running an election, you should have a manifesto. What he had was a manifesto. Now is the president. So there's a difference between a manifesto and an economic development agenda. That is now say, okay, this is how I'm going to implement it. So there's a difference between my plans, but now is how I'm going to execute my plans. So if you formulate a strategy, for example, which is more or less the manifesto, then there is what is called the strategy implementation. And most of the time, even in the private sector, even in the private world, 80% of my strategies formulated normally fail during execution. And that is what we are experiencing now, because there hasn't been proper detailed examination of all these issues, and as I said, and the way they affect the totality of the economy.
Dr. Ngo, are you saying to our viewers and to me that the removal of fuel subsidy was executed based on a wrong strategy?
What I'm saying is that it seems that the government, they are announcing things that they think that are popular. Removing fuel subsidy is important, but it wasn't properly thought through. So what I mean is that they are supposed to have examined the consequences of this removal and say what will be so for example, the palliatives. How are we going to manage the cost of this removal? So a actual example is all the refineries that we have in Nigeria, are they working? The answer is no. The one we are hoping that it will work, that it will start producing, like Dangote refinery, has it started? Not really. So this means that if you remove fuel subsidy, it means that you're still going to be importing fuel, and you cannot control the price because it will be determined by the demand and supply of dollar, which is external to us. So that it wasn't properly thought through. So the same thing with this harmonization of foreign exchange. So it wasn't properly thought through. So the only thing that will sustain a better exchange rate, a better fuel subsidy removal, is when you have proper productivity in the economy. But nobody has even talked about it. So if you look at the different sectors of the economy, the key one that controls close to 30% to the GDP is agriculture. Nobody has announced anything about agriculture. The only thing we heard that is they've declared state of emergency on agriculture. But interestingly, in what we heard or what we saw, they are giving 19 billion to agriculture. But interestingly, you are giving 70 billion to National Assembly and giving 30-something billion to judiciary. So the thing that is contributing 30% of your GDP, you are giving 19 billion. Not even that you are giving it 19 billion. It's not even clear what they will do with it 19 billion. We are now in July and we're moving to August. And before you know it, the rainy season will disappear. So what have we done? So we also have the National Economic Council, that you have the governors. There is no governor that has told us what they're going to do within this rainy season to support agriculture, to support manufacturing. In the last 8 years, can you count, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 governors that have built in an industry and say, this is what we are going to focus on. So what we're expecting is that upon taking over May 29, there should have been, within 1 week or 2 weeks, a clear economic development agenda and saying this is where we are going, this is what we have to do it. And they have a proper coordination with the states and local government to say, this is what the federal government is going to do, this is what the state will do, this is what the government will do, so that Nigerians will be clear in terms of where the economy is going. But at the moment, you can see everything is on the increase. Mudu of Gare is about 1,000 something naira now. Everybody is asking for an increase. If you increase salaries to maybe 100%, 200%, as the case may be, it will not even solve the problem, because there is a spiral increase across every sector of the economy. So it's a challenge. So if you are now saying that you're going to give 110 billion to just few people, meanwhile, the majority of the people, Nigerians, are suffering. I'm sure you'll be receiving text messages of people asking you for 10,000, for 20,000, as the case may be. Look at the school fees that they've increased. I was reliably informed that one university has postponed the exam 2-3 times. And you know the reason why they're postponing the exam? Because people cannot pay the increase in school fees. So you say you have a student loan. You haven't even allowed it to function. Maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year, to know people that are taking it up. And you are now increasing school fees. So what I'm trying to say that the reason why we're even having inflation in the country is the way we are spending money. Cost of governance is too much. There is no justification why National Assembly should be giving or even asking for 110 billion. A cleaner in Nigeria needs a conducive working environment. A hospital needs a conducive working environment. A policeman needs a conducive working environment. All of us need conducive working environment. The National Assembly is not the only unit or the only arm of government that is necessary and important for the function of this economy. We all need it, and it needs to be properly done.
But what do you think will be the long-term effect? Maybe, in the medium, short term, long-term effect of this hike in school fees. Are we likely to become a country of illiterates?
There's going to be many consequences. First of all, many people will drop out of the school because they might not be able to pay. Ordinarily, the fees being paid now in universities and unity schools can be said to be low. No doubt about it. But what I'm trying to say is that there has to be proper preparation for you to adjust, for you to increase the school fees. So the student loan framework needs to be tested to know that it's working. And if it's now working, you can now say, okay, based as it's working, we can now start increasing school fees gradually so that people can gradually embrace it. People can start going to borrow money to finance the education. But just suddenly waking up and say, you've increased school fees. Suddenly waking up and saying, we've harmonized exchange rates. Suddenly waking up and saying, we've removed fuel subsidy. I'm very concerned and worried that the way we are going, we are just, it's very concerning and very worrying.
Okay.
Yes, so my people, and the updates will carry confidence like this video. So how na say na reason now more. Make una drop una comment and make una no forget to like and share. DJ AP.